Keep trying. Do not give up. We are coming back up here with an oracle message. Listen in the spirit. Give some time. Give it some time. My breasts feel heavy, heavier. Mm. Ooh, thank you, Spirit. Ooh, ooh, the channel, the gates, the golden gates. All praise to the Most High. Ooh. The ancestors are here. Thank you, ancestors. Just giving it a little bit of time. I'm gonna start soon. I just wanted to give it a little bit of time for YouTube to send these out. 12:12 on the clock. I'm about to just jump into it because I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? If you come in, rewatch the video. I'm about to get started. I gave it a little bit of time. I'm sitting on this energy though, and I have to allow it to be expressed. So definitely click the like button as you come in. This is definitely going to be an amazing oracle reading. To my returning subscribers and new people, thank you for returning. I got a spiritual download that I have been getting for the past weeks and for the past months. And I just pray to the Most High that I'm able to bring this message out the way that it needs to be brought out, because sometimes the truth isn't always pleasant to hear. I'm hearing in the spirit. The truth is not always digestible to people that, you know, are going through their persecution or their affliction, okay, or their judgment, you know. And this is, I'm speaking this as a people that has been persecuted, or my connection to a group of people that have been persecuted and afflicted spiritually, mentally, emotionally, culture stripped away. Not all of us, but many of us, brainwashed by forced religion, you know, heritage stripped away, certain names stripped away. So the ancestors is bringing this message, and the universe is bringing this message through me, because I carry that genetic memory through my DNA. So definitely, if you are easily offended, you know, I ask that you leave now, because if you know, you may be triggered, you know, because I'm not going to hold my tongue. Okay, so with everything that is going on with in today's time, with so many different people and immigration and people being um, snatched up out of their homes and thrown in jail, taken to prisons and or facilities, children, they coming for their children, going in schools, trying to get their children while they're in schools, you know, stopping people on the road, like the stop and frisk, okay, so-called black codes that happened to original Americans, okay. Don't be fooled. The US government has lied to every foreigner that comes into America, okay, of every skin complexion and or race or creed, because the original American Negroes are the originals of America. So when you come over here and you disrespect the originals of America, and it reaches a certain height, of wickedness, of oppression, of suppression, of different uh, trafficking, of human sacrifices, those so-called police shootings, etc. Everything has a limit, you know, and it has reached its limit. The U.S. corporation and the wickedness that they have inflicted and put on in every space and reality and aspect of this system, being us as the original people being within this system, they can't do anymore. The work they've already done everything, you know, the unthinkable things that we as the survivors who are really the American Indians, the original Americans living in America, we are the survivors of that genocide, okay? We are the original Americans, but they call us black, but they push that we're black people. They pushed because they had to black out our culture, rip our culture away from us, our many cultures, disconnect us from our ancient culture, disconnect us from our heritage, and even still into this day, we hang on to different foods and different dishes and different things that we just do, you know. And it's like, well, why do we do this? Oh, we my mother did it, my grandmother did it. We still are hanging on because we are on our land. So it shows that with the deportation that is happening with many foreigners of different races, okay, different ethnicities from different places, they can no longer come over here and jump on the so-called black Americans back, okay? You can't come over here and beat black Americans down, tell them they have no culture, tell them they are stupid, and oh, you're in America, what do you how are you guys in poverty, how are you guys losing? But they don't tell, the government doesn't tell the whole side of the story. They're not going to say, oh, they're the original Americans, this land belongs to them, the resources belong to them. And even after they were prisoners of war during the period of enslavement, they came out of that and built prosperous towns that were called Indian towns, Indian Wall Streets, etc., etc. They're not going to tell you that because it goes against the narrative that they're trying to spin on who is the original American. See, the US government pushes that the so-called Native Americans, I'm going somewhere with this, are the original Americans. They push that Caucasian Americans that are descendants from the colonists that came over here, the colonies, the 13 colonies, yeah, those descendants that were shipped over here from Europe as Slavs, okay, as slaves, forced out of Europe for their ethnic cleansing. They say that they are the Americans. Why? Because they didn't have anything, as those people at that time, those Caucasians didn't have anything to hold on to because Europe was throwing them away like trash and sending them over here because they didn't want to deal with them. They didn't want those people of their in their society. Those were the lowest people, the poorest people, the homeless people, the criminals of their society is what they sent over here to America. And the original American Negroes are the ones that saw those ships come over and saw those people get off of those ships and the state that they got off of those ships. And it was not people that were wealthy. It was people that were dirty faces, dirty clothes, bugs in their hair, rats and roaches on the ship. This is what the original Americans, so-called black Americans, saw with Europeans when they got off, Caucasian Europeans when they got off of that ship. The US, they've documented all of this stuff. Also, the Caucasian Europeans weren't the only ones that were there. They needed to be guided over here to America. They knew exactly where they were sending them. They had the black Europeans and or African advanced African Europeans on that boat as well. And they don't say that though. You see, navigating them over here to this land because they were the ancient people and they knew the waterways. They knew which way to go. They knew which way to turn in the ocean. Everybody knows that if you go out into the ocean and you're not a true sailor and you don't know where you're going and you don't know the currents and the different waves and the high tides and the low tides, you'll get caught out there and you won't come back. You won't come back. All of the storms that arise throughout the oceans and the seas. It's been many people to go out and sail and think they knew what they were doing and where they were going, and they never came back. All right, so we're going to continue on. I'm going to speak on a lot of these Eurasian and or Siberian foreigners that came over to into the Americas, okay, but were not native to the Americans' land, okay. The original Americans are the Negroes, okay, the American Negro Indians, okay. We have our own languages. We have hundreds of thousands of languages, okay. We have hundreds of thousands of tribes, the mainland of, um, large land masses, Negroes all over the land. Negroes with coily hair and afros, curly hair, wavy hair, like in California, straight coarse hair, like in California. What was the name of that tribe? The They had the red Kachina, and the blue Kachina prophecy, the Hopi tribe. See, the U.S. government lies about the true identity of the American Negroes because in order for the U.S. corporation to operate on the lands of America, the lands have to be abandoned because the true heirs of the land, even if they're on the land, knowledge is power. So if they don't know that this is their land, you don't have any power. If you don't know where your ancestors, where your root is from, that's almost like not knowing who you are. That's why they came up with this big out of Africa theory, this slave ship theory. When they don't have any slave ships that they've ever found in the ocean. Millions of people, no slave ships. It's crazy because it was all a lie. Did they enslave the original Americans in America? Yes, they did during a certain period of time. They did. Why did they enslave them? Because this is their land. Because they owned everything. It was generational wealth, the true generational wealth. So many generations, the land was passed down that it's just ours. You know what I'm saying? We're free and we're on our land, the home of the free, the land of the brave, the land of the brave, the home of the free. Those are the American Negro Indians. That's why every so often the US government, they know who we really are. And every now and then they let us burn stuff up and tear stuff down because they know that our ancestors were rebelling. Okay, that's why they do that type of thing. And only for the American Negroes does the police come out and the military come out and a militarized state come out. Why? Because we're the originals of the land. And we have ownership of the land spiritually. These other groups, they know that they are not the originals of the land. They saw every single one of these foreigners come here. A lot of the people that are so-called American, connected to the colonists, they're immigrants. They've just been here longer than others. They let the immigrants protest. The so-called Eurasian, Siberian, Mexicans, different immigrants like that. They let Caucasians, different Caucasians, gay Caucasians, etc., Caucasian females. Oh, they can go out there and protest, and the police will just be standing around. It's a reason. The original people fighting and standing up for our rights and standing up for the justice of ourselves and our land, that's embedded in our DNA. They want the U.S. government, and the U.S. system has taught that so-called Black people are so weak and so docile and this and that, but they don't tell you what they have done to get us to that level of being docile, of going with the flow, of accepting that things will never change, even when we know that things are wrong. We're not in the age anymore of Pisces. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age of I know who I am. I know my abilities. I believe in me. I know who I am. I know who my ancestors are. We're connected. We're no longer disconnected from our land and our ancestors. So it's impossible for anybody or any system to lie to us. It doesn't matter if there's a Jewish male in these elementary schools and middle schools and high schools teaching so-called Black African American history, which really doesn't exist. It's a misnomer. It doesn't matter if they created a African American museum, millions of dollars with Oprah at the top floor of it, investing in it. She's already sold her soul. She can't be trusted. That might not even be the real version of her. She might even be a clone. The truth is not in her. It's a reason why they put Obama as the image of a Negro American male, because we've had Negro American presidents in America before so-called George Washington. Many Negro American presidents, American Indian presidents. This governmental system was created by the American Negroes. The commander in chief, sovereignty, freedom, statues, amendments, that all came from us. But what happened was that our government, our American Republic, got infiltrated. Like every cause that American Negro Indians have, such as the Black Panther movement, etc., all of them get infiltrated by foreign spies sent by the government that are Caucasian, that may be Caribbean, that may be more foreign African, or that look just like us in there taking the information back as an informant. That's how all of those movements got destroyed and infiltrated from the inside out. Why? Because the government sees American Negro Indians as a threat. We've always been seen as the threat. It's more than just, oh, those people are ignorant, or oh, those people, we just gotta watch those people, or they're criminal, or this or that. No, they know our capabilities spiritually, and they know that we have a right to this land. The reason why a lot of foreign, Eurasian Mexicans from Siberia, the government allowed them in Mexico to call themselves Mexicans because they were born in Mexico. Just like the Native Americans and the Mexicans are both of Eurasian and Siberian ancestry. They're the same people. They're the same people. They're from the same root. They came over into the Americas at the same time. See, that's genetics. You can't hide genetics. That's why they look just alike. But the Native Americans, the ones that stopped in the territory of the states, was given that title as Native Americans. It was not by blood. The American Negro Indians, we go back on paper and documentation, we were called Negro. I saw my ancestry in documentation. We were called colored. Colored is synonymous with Indian. American Indian, the indigenous people of America, the copper-colored originals of America, the aboriginals of America. And then I started digging, and I started going back, and I started looking at the Olmec heads, and I started seeing ancient Egyptian artifacts found in Illinois and in the areas of the Grand Canyon. And I said, well, what? I went to Florida, and I'm like, what's this? Different cultures, different accents. And I started putting it together. My ancestors helped me, and the Most High helped me with piecing together what was what. I started looking, I'm like, why? If we don't have no culture, and they saying we Africans in school, but I come home, and my granny and my mother's side and is telling us that we're Indian, and my father knows his mother's tribe and his father's mother's tribe. I'm like, well, what's going on? See, I started to feel, in my personal, life at that time as a child, I was always questioning things. I was always asking questions and trying to reason to find the answer. And I said, well, if we're Africans and they're teaching us this in school, and we're always being taught by a Caucasian Jewish male, then what's going on? It has to be more to this story, because I'm going home and they're telling us that, oh, your grandmother is Indian, or your grandmother is Cherokee, Aniwaya. Oh, your grandmother is Sauk Indian. Your grandmother is, different types of tribes of Indian. And I'm like, well, when we claim what we are, they tell us that we're not Indian, or they tell us that a lot of our people have got used to saying we're part Indian, because they beat us down so much to disconnect us from our root, to disconnect us from our culture, to disconnect us from our heritage. And they had to strip us of everything, not only our land, our heritage, our ancient heritage, because our heritages lead back to our ancient heritage. Not only our cultures through the eras and how they connect back to our true heritage and our lineage, but we were on our land, so we were a bigger threat because they know that we are connected to our land. We are original beings of the planet. We're connected to nature. So us being too in tune with nature, us being left alone to our own devices, connecting back to nature, connecting to the universe, remembering who we are, connecting to the ancestors, listening to the birds, that awakens our DNA. That's why we had to be watched so closely. That's why they started to, at different time periods, they started moving us from the countryside, from the country, and the countryside into these cities. And guess what they did? They started, oh, this is a place to be. It's a whole lot of entertainment here. Oh, this is, trying to get us to move out of our ancestral land so that they could go into them and seize them and take them. See, that's one of the land grab. Okay, that's what they did with using manipulation and advertisement back in those days, 1930s, 1940s. All right, and then with moving forward, it was other situations because we have a lot of land. All of this land was ours, so they had to figure out ways to take it from us. Some was outright force, them coming at gunpoint, them burning down your barn and killing all your animals and saying, "Hey, we want this land. We're going to take it," like damn barbarians, like savages. Either you willingly go, or we come in and drag you out kicking and screaming and shoot you in the head and kill your family and save you for last. That is the type of people that we were dealing with. Okay, we was going to war for almost 100 years with the Gullah Geechee wars. Our warriors were not going for it. We were fighting. Ancestors coming, family members coming from Mexico, coming down from Canada. What people fail to realize is that the Americas is the Negro land. This is Indian land. This is Chata territory. This is our ancestral land. We are connected to our land. This is our birthright. Everybody that comes to America does not have a birthright to the land. The land was not given to their ancestors like it was given to ours, not as owners, even though it was passed down and, legally it would be considered owners, but we were the caretakers of the land. We respected the land. We knew that the land gave us life and we poured back into the land. That's why our ancestors was able to grow the food on the land. Our ancestors were agriculturists, growing food for the land, the tobacco, the cotton. We were already growing this stuff. We was already growing apples and oranges and watermelons. The things that they use to make so-called Black Americans feel horrible about themselves and feel like slaves. We weren't born to be slaves. That's another thing that a lot of people got misconstrued. We never was born to be slaves. We ended up becoming prisoners of war for a certain period of time, and we were supposed to go into servitude for the 400 to 500 years for something that our ancestors did in the past. It was already prophecy. Our Mayan ancestors prophesied that their descendants in America, the territory of the states right here where we are now, were going to fall into a deep sleep spiritually, which is a spiritual death if you're disconnected from your spiritual self in the universe. We were going to go into a form of bondage. We were going to go into a form of servitude. The people that was so-called ruling over us for that period of time, a little bit too far. We were supposed to be, giving and doing jobs of servitude, but we were not supposed to be treated like animals. We were not supposed to be, treated like dogs and pigs or etc. because we're not animals. And some of our people went through that so-called chattel type slavery, but others didn't. It just depended on where you were in the land. It also depended on how isolated you were in the land, because I have family members that is connected to the Gullah Geechee tribe. The Gullah Geechee, shout out to the Gullah Geechee, and they're in South Carolina, in the islands, in the sea islands of South Carolina. They were not enslaved. They never experienced any forms of slavery because they were isolated. You couldn't just go out there. That lets you know who the originals of the land are. It was certain isolated areas, way, way, way up in the mountains, isolated areas where it's hard to get to unless you know. And unless they had a trader that was a guide that showed them where to go and what areas the people were in, they didn't know that they were there. They left them alone, or they just couldn't get there. So with the Gullah Geechee Indians, who were look like so-called Black Americans, so-called, but we really know the truth. They never experienced slavery. And then in a certain period of time when so-called Caucasians were able to get out there and had the boats to get out there and the means to get out there, they got out there. They, uh, lived on the land. They were neighbors with, Negro Americans. It wasn't no issues. It wasn't no problems. Everybody grew their own food, lived in harmony. It wasn't none of that prejudice. It wasn't none of that heavy racism or Jim Crow type of energy, because those Caucasian people that moved out there knew that this is our land, and it was way out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy to get to. It was isolated. So it could have been they knew that if they started some stuff, they could come up missing, and nobody would know where they went, and nobody would come looking for them because this was an isolated area, a sea island, you know? So what I'm getting in the spirit is that the chickens have come home to roost. A lot of foreigners of America have outstayed their welcome. A lot of Eurasian and Siberian Native Americans and or Mexicans, etc., take it how it applies, have hated the original American Negro Indians and have beat them down at every turn and have compared themselves to them at every turn when the government gives them an economic boost and an economic floor to thrive. It's not hard to be successful when you're being supported, when you're being financially backed, when you're getting free government money, when you're getting free government loans, when you have, the government tells you, hey, your people can live on this land, like the Native Americans, they're the same bloodline. It's not hard to be successful when you don't have to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and the government is handing out free checks to everybody. But guess what? Not the Negro Americans. This U.S. government, anything they give you, they want something back. See, everybody was okay when so-called Black Americans were demonized, and nobody cared about mass policing of certain urban areas. Nobody cared about, the drugs that was being infiltrated into Negro American Indian urban communities. Nobody cared when Negro American women were forced and left by their males that were being targeted and thrown in prison, whether they were guilty or not, and convicted of crimes that they didn't do, and some of them that they did do. Guess who had to hold that bag? The women, the mothers, the Negro American mothers had to figure out how they were going to live and how they were going to survive with their children, with their males gone. Do you see the reflection? When we're looking at the illegal immigrants now, fathers being snatched out of their homes, snatched out of their cars, stopped going to work, the cuffs thrown on their hands and their legs, and they're being transported to the nearest holding facility and treated like animals and treated like criminals. So now I just literally saw a video on YouTube of a a rights lawyer of immigrants, and basically she was saying this is inhumane, and that this is not fair, this is just really just totally disgusting, it's something wrong with this. But guess what? Everybody in America was okay. Every foreigner was okay with American Negro Indian women being treated like trash, being spit on, being beat down, being abandoned by their men groups, and ostracized and teased by the community. Let's be real. Us as the women and the group, especially the women, It's a special hate that a lot of these foreigners had for the original American Negro women. Always somebody has something to say. You could be minding your business, walking down the street, living your life, going grocery shopping. A foreigner will always come out of the woodworks. Not all, but many, because it's a collective. It was a collective beast that was implanted within their minds and in their spirits to keep the Negro woman down, to keep the American Indian woman down, because why? She gives birth to the children. If your woman is down, your people is down. If your woman is down, your nation is down. And we're seeing that play out in real time. We're seeing women be separated from their children. Guess who that happened to? American Negro women. During what? During the time of enslavement and persecution, when women were being separated from their children, children being kidnapped. And guess what? That was before they were enslaved. That was before they deemed our people slaves, whether they were um, free people, okay, because that existed. We were free, and or if you had a work contract where you were dedicated to your contract until your contract was up. Many people had servants and or slaves for work, to do things on their farm, to work in their houses. That was the whole spin of slavery. In the South, they tried to force it on you. In the North, it was a choice, just like a choice of a job. It was all about employment. It was all about getting so-called slave labor, which is basically, in a sense, they paying you so low. It's free labor. That's exactly what's going on today. It never changed. The system has did a Houdini on a lot of people that don't know what's going on here. Just like the original American women were separated from their children, or their children was kidnapped and sold into slavery illegally. See, with the US government, when they want to do something, all they do is change the law. Everybody is seeing it now. See, when we were saying it, oh no, those are just black people. You can't listen to them. They don't have any credibility. They don't have any knowledge. They're just talking out the side of their necks. But now, when the chickens come home to roost, and we tell you that this government will change up on you real quick, trap you in a status, knowing that you're the originals. How do y'all think we got trapped in the blackness? Our people used to fight people calling us black, because we knew our tribes, we knew our nation, we knew our root. We got trapped into blackness through Martin Luther King. Becoming citizens, that's what lets you know that we're not like everybody else. They're not like us, because we're the originals of America. The Crip Walk is an Indian war dance. Let's talk about it. It all leads back to us being the originals of America. We were criminalized just like the innocent Mexican women and men who don't have a criminal record, who are just going to work to feed and support their families. See, we were criminalized like that as well, but nobody had any sympathy for us. That's the difference. Everybody hated us and beat us down and tried to keep good jobs away from us, and fight to be the model minority. See, the US government knows that we are, as the originals, are not minorities. We are the majority here in America. That's why they lie about our numbers. That's why our people have been at 13% for the last 20, 30 years, and we ain't stopped having children. See, they manipulate the data to serve their purpose. They push these images and these negative stereotypes of original American Negro Indian women. Okay, like everybody has a somebody in their group that ain't right. Everybody has somebody in their group that's considered trash from their mentality, how they carry themselves, how they think. Their vibration is low. That's across racial lines. That's across species. You're going to have the ones that are up, and you're going to have the ones that are down in morality and character. But with us, as the American Negro Indians, as the so-called blacks, which the system likes to call us. They want everybody that's a foreigner, they condition y'all before y'all come over here. Don't F with the blacks. They're a bunch of criminals. Stay away from them. Don't associate with them. Don't trust them. Don't spend money if they have a business. Don't spend money there. We'll give you guys the business loans that we keep away from them and their communities to keep them down, while you take the money and you go take it back to your own people to keep them in poverty, to keep them. You see how the government uses different groups of people, especially foreigners that are coming in, that think they know about what's going on in America, but we know because we've lived it. We've had, as Americans, especially in Philadelphia, which was the first capital, with the Black Panther movement, they dropped bombs in Negro American neighborhoods to try to get the Black Panther and flooded them, and not only dropped bombs, but then flooded them out. This is what the US government is capable of. Now everybody is seeing another side. A lot of other foreigners of across racial lines is feeling that pressure that the American Negroes have been feeling for hundreds of years. We're not all lazy. We're not all unintelligent. We're not stupid. We're very intelligent people. They've invested into dumbing us down. They've invested into having us worshiping their material items in exchange for, your soul and your life, to continue to misguide and educate the youth. It's facts. I'm seeing so many people hungry. I'm seeing people that can't afford to take care of their families. Do I like to see that? No, but is that judgment? Yes. If you hated the American Negroes without even knowing, believing the lie that they brought them from Africa when they don't even look like Africans or smell like Africans or even have the same mannerisms. We don't copy Africans. The Africans that come over here and globally, they copy us. They follow what we do on a high level of intelligence or the lowest level of intelligence. It's always that way. The only ones where you see our people running around with dashikis and talking about we from Africa is our agents, okay? They're so-called Black conscious agents that are being paid by who? The US government, the federal government, to do what? To cause confusion amongst the American Negro Indians, to keep them divided and to keep them going astray, not knowing where they're from and who they are. These Black Panther, not Black Panther, but these Black conscious, like Umar, that damn bastard, they get paid to lead their people to hell. They get paid for that. That's a check. That's an example of the agents, okay, that led to our people being in this situation right now. Also, Martin Luther King, towards the end of his life, he started to come to his senses, but guess what? He led his people into a burning house. He convinced his people, the American Negroes, especially in the East Coast, South woodlands, that becoming citizens, we were going to get better treatment. We were going to have better schools. We were going to be able to, have better communities, and we would be okay. When you bring that truth out, sometimes you just don't know. All right, but I'm back. So, mm, everything has a cause and a reaction. All right, everything has a cause and everything has a reaction. To every action, there is a reaction. All right. I was talking about Martin Luther King. Yep, being assassinated when he started feeling guilty. Okay, when he started feeling guilty, and of what he was doing, and as he was portraying his people, okay, and portraying the ancestors by getting caught up in the boule, these secret societies, okay, that they had for Negroes, okay. You see how they tell you one side, but they don't tell you the other. Guess what? The had a vow to Satan. Guess what? They didn't have no damn crosses burned in their yard. They weren't being tormented at that particular period of time. Guess what? Because they was protected under that oath, under that demonic oath, angelic protection. Ooh, Archangel Michael. Yeah. All right. So this is how we got to this point. Okay. Mayan Queen. I'm seeing. I pulled out a Queen Mu. All right. All of that to the American Negroes. All right. All of that is connected to us. Now the world has been operating from a place of being upside down. When the American Negroes was ruling not only the Americas, but the world from a righteous place, the world was right side up. Now you see why they want to keep us down. And we have American Negroes have bloodlines, our family, the Pacific Islanders, okay, the original Hawaiians, all of them have afros, curly hair, wavy hair. You know it when you see it. They look just like the Caribbeans, okay, afros. You go to China, the original people of China, afros, slink, um, they Aboriginal, the Asiatic, okay, line as the originals. So you see Cambodia, you see Hindustan, the which was the name of India. They named it back India. Um, it's levels to this. The Australians are Aboriginal cousins. Okay, the Tasmanians. Uh, they made a cartoon to depict Tasmanians are our family. Afros, like features. We act alike. We move alike. We have certain ancestral genetic markers that are similar, and a certain way that we eat, a certain way of our culture. Yes, we have differences, but our root, and we are of that original bloodline of the planet. So been through so much and so much pressure, different wars, psychological warfare, outright physical wars, etc. But we have been having to live next to our oppressors that will not leave us alone and have not left us alone for hundreds of years, that have been feeding off of our energy, making life hell on earth for us. And it has allowed our DNA, like no other of our bloodline across the earth, to grow stronger. It allowed us to tap into our genetic code, our God body genes and DNA. And guess what? With pressure, you get diamonds. With the utmost pressure and force and affliction and oppression and suppression from many different angles, guess what you get? Our genetics start to get stronger. It starts to transform like Thor. You know what I'm saying? Like in a sense, like the Hulk. We have extraterrestrial DNA, but we are the original beings of the planet, connected to nature. So that is why when we go out there and march and, you know, sometimes burn buildings up, burn cars up, the youth was actually doing that. And it's because the ancestors were being channeled, that rage was being channeled, generations of oppression, affliction was being channeled. And they knew that we needed to destroy something, we needed to tear something up. Okay. And because emotionally, we needed to express that energy. And whether we are tearing something up as a collective because we're tired of the BS as Aboriginal Americans, or we're protesting peacefully, the police still show up and the National Guard still shows up because they know that we are capable of taking this thing over. We are the ones with the power because we have the ancestral connection to the land. We have rights to the land. The ancestors are with us. The ancestors are still on the land. Our ancestors are buried in the earth of the land since prehistoric times, since pre-Columbian times. We are the originals of the earth, and our land knows us. Okay, that's another thing. Our land knows us from foreigners on our land, and I feel like that's also why um, the planet is waking up. Okay, the earth is um, pushing off parasites. Okay, of low frequency. It doesn't matter what race you are, but certain people, certain groups have different frequencies. Okay, even though you can be an exception to that rule, it just depends on your frequency. The earth is knows what is not natural. The earth knows what belongs on her. The earth knows us as original Americans because our ancestors were always in the earth, growing the earth, living off of the earth, tilling the land, um, fertilizing the soil. Okay, our DNA is in the earth and in the land, and the land is in us because we ate from the land. The land fed us. It's the process of give and take. It's a balance. And so Aboriginal or so-called Black Americans are so much more, and the government has lied to us, of course, the most because they wanted to brainwash us. Okay, they put it heavy on us, but they've also lied to and brainwashed foreigners and people who may not think that they're foreigners, but they're foreign to the land because their root did not start over here in the Americas. The Americas for a very long time was blocked. Foreigners and of certain bloodlines were blocked from coming over here to America. The Americas is the real Garden of Eden. Okay, the Americas is the sacred land. The Americas is the land of the Mayans. The Americas is the land of the black soil, Kemet, ancient Egypt. Okay, the home of the original Hindu and Buddhist. Everything started over here with us as the originals. And it's not to toot my own horn. This is truth. Sometimes the truth may hurt, but when people realize that they have been spewing hate and hating and sending the energies of hate to the people who are actually the gods, the sleeping gods of the earth, things change very quickly. People all of a sudden want to be friends that hate our people. People all of a sudden want to sing kumbaya and hold hands. The same people that were racist and calling us the minutes before. And I want to get into another aspect as well. Everybody that is so called a Black American, we're not all equally yoked. There are spiritual differences. They may have the genetic code, but spiritually they're blocked. Spiritually, mentally they're what's the word I'm looking for? They've been delayed. Okay, they're not in the area of ascending. They've been blocked. So their frequency isn't as high. What's basically they are the ones that don't want to change and evolve. Those are the ones that you know other what do they call it, junk DNA, because they're too weak to do the work, or they're too ignorant to do the work, and they're just too closed minded. Their heart chakras are closed. They're stuck in ignorance. They don't want to see the truth. They rather be okay with the lie, even if they're being called falsely Black people or African American people. See, they are not going to have keys to the kingdom. Okay, those are the Black people that are going to go down with the ship. Okay, of self of foreigners that did the originals of America, especially the righteous originals of America who did them wrong. Okay, those so-called spiritually dead Black people that cannot be saved. Okay, they're going to get left behind. It's just as simple as that. If they're not opening their eyes and seeing all the signs and the checking the synchronicities and seeing that they got to get right with God, their higher self, and get right with the universe and the Heavenly Father and the ancestors and connect back to their ancient origins, they're going to get left behind. A lot of them are going to be judged like a lot of evil, wicked foreigners globally and in the lands of America that have been energy harvesting from the original Americans. That's the truth. It's going to get worse. Okay. This is the tip of the iceberg. Okay. With people just going crazy, losing their jobs, being dragged out of America, kicking and screaming in shackles. Yes, certain Asians. It's happening to certain Asians. Happening to certain Asian, Eurasian, Siberian Mexicans. It's happening to Africans that are over here in America illegally. Also, Caribbeans that are over here. Every walk of life that does not have a right to the land is and who does not have so-called citizenship and or blood connection to the land, even if they do have a blood connection from another part of the land, they don't have citizenship. So that they are not a part of the original Americans that built America up. Not America, the US that is located in America, the corporation. Because America is always going to be America. America was America before foreigners came over here. America is the old world. It's not the new world. It's only new to foreigners, but it's the old world of the planet, of this plane of existence. So, yeah, I'm also getting in the spirit. It says humble beginnings, victory laps. So, a lot of the chosen, okay, spiritually, on an energetic level and genetic level, awakened DNA, is going to have humble beginnings, but it's going to lead to a victory lap. I'm getting in the spirit, Nipsey Hustle. It says, F the haters. We don't care about haters around here. Hey, if you're not doing something that's worthwhile, what are you doing? If you're doing something that's worth something, you're gonna have haters. You're gonna have naysayers. You're gonna have people standing around that could be focused on their own lives. The third card that came out, shout out to the Nagamaya family, um, is Lord Ganesh. I absolutely adore and love Lord Ganesh. He is absolutely amazing. I know that Lord Ganesh is the remover of obstacles, okay, clearing your path. So I'm also getting that the land of America is being cleared from people that don't belong here, criminals that don't belong here, people that don't belong here, people that have been invading and parasites to us in our land being removed out of the land. Also, Ganesh is represented as abundance, okay? Um, Clearing the obstacles out of your way, out of your path in a physical and a spiritual sense, and allowing for newness to come in, okay? New abundance, okay? New resources, new pinnacles, wealth, and abundance come in. Now, after Lord Ganesh, I see nightmares. So I'm seeing that a lot of these people that are over here illegally, and or if they are legal, that have been full of wickedness, that have been spewing hatred, that have been using and exploiting people, their nightmares are upon them. This judgment, okay, this nightmare card is represented as judgment. I'm getting in the spirit. They can't sleep at night is what I'm getting. Okay, these karmic individuals, these karmic, I'm getting hate groups. Okay, they can't sleep at night. It's something that's keeping them up at night because ooh, they came up against God. Ooh, I'm getting in the spirit. They came up against God. They came up against God's children. They came up against the universe's children, and their wickedness has now reached the heavens, the heavenly Father. The wickedness has now reached the cosmos, the universal mother, and now we're being sent help. All praise to the Most High. Our ancestors, my ancestors that were under such heavy hatred. Oh my God. I remember I could feel it in my DNA. I could feel the hatred coming from a lot of these Caucasians and so-called Eurasian Native Americans. They hated us so much. They did not want us to be alive. It was like you could just look, they would just look at us and you could just feel the hatred. They just was wishing the worst for us. They were wishing that we would be destroyed. They was wishing to unalive us. They was wishing that we would succumb to them poisoning our water and our foods. They just been looking at us with eyes of hate for hundreds of years. And I'm hearing in the spirit that their nightmares are upon them. Our ancestors are awakened and coming for them. Our spiritual teams are coming to collect, okay? Their spell work has backfired, okay? They thought that they were powerful, and I'm hearing in the spirit What they used to tell us all the time as American Negro Indians in America when we were under persecutions in different levels, they would say, you cry out to your God, mm, but your God does not answer you. Ooh, I'm hearing it in the spirit. And our people would pray. Our people would pray. Our people would pray. And now they were praying and praying and praying. But the colonizer, the wicked ones, is what I'm hearing, put the image of Caucasian Jesus before them. Our people, it being beat into their minds, etched into their minds. Basically, you have to accept Jesus or you're going to be murdered. Okay. You have to accept Jesus or your children are going to be taken and kidnapped and sold into slavery. Okay. You have to accept Jesus because there is no life without Jesus, is what I'm hearing in the spirit. Ooh, that was the conditioning. That was the conditioning. Ooh. And I know this is global because so-called Caucasian Jesus is global because they ran the world for a particular period of time and ruled with a very wicked iron fist. But I'm hearing in the spirit that the nightmares are upon them, and they know it's coming. There is not going to be a rapture. It's going to be straight judgment, pure, brutal judgment and karma for all of the wickedness that their ancestors have done to the original people, the so-called Black Americans of America, and the originals of the world and of our sacred lands. All of that wickedness that they've spewed, all their evil spell work, all of their energy harvesting. Okay, I'm hearing in the spirit all of their human sacrifices of original Black Americans in America, them hanging our people, them barbecuing our people, hanging them, setting them on fire, and eating them as carnivores. Yeah, that's what Jesus is connected to. When you eat that bread, that styrofoam bread, and you drink that red wine, yeah, that's represented as them eating flesh and drinking blood. Okay, that is those satanic blood rituals. Okay, and guess who the Caucasians were eating in mass when they were chasing our people up and down our land and kidnapping them who were free people and taking children, so stealing our children and killing them and eating them as well and drinking their blood. They didn't just do it to men and women, they did it to children. Vengeance belonged to the Lord, and our ancestors are going to collect ooh, all. I'm hearing it in the spirit. It was all that was taken shall be returned tenfold. There is no escape. It's no bunker that these individuals and these entities and or I'm hearing in the spirit, part reptilian entities could be able, there's no way to escape. There's nowhere to run. It doesn't matter. If you go to a rural area, the mountains, it does not matter where you go. It's no bunker that you could go in to escape judgment. Just like how our people had to go through judgment, there was nowhere to run. There was nowhere to hide. When it's spiritual, the spirit world is the original world. You cannot run from this, is what I'm hearing in the spirit. And their nightmares are keeping them awake at night. Take it how it resonates on a global level, on a collective group level, and also on an individual level when we're talking about the karmics that have done you dirty and done you wrong. Because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, and we are energy beings, okay? It says, keep trying, don't give up. Keep trying, keep pushing. It doesn't matter who doesn't support you. It doesn't matter who is doubting you. You are your biggest cheerleader. You are the one that is going to get you up out of the bed and get you ready to do what you need to do, to pour into yourself, to pour into your craft, to pour into your business. Keep trying. Don't give up because you're close to the finish line is what I'm hearing in the flesh. I'm hearing everything that was taken is going to be returned to the rightful heirs. Everything that was taken is being returned to the rightful heirs of the throne and the spirit and the flesh. That's what I'm hearing. Y'all, and that's confirmation. I just seen a Caucasian couple walking down the street, and I just looked up and seen them, and I know they feel it. I know they feel it. Bank, money matters, the river. The bank account is going to be full. all that was taken, all of those precious pearls and rubies, okay? Everything that was taken, the land, everything that was taken is going to be returned to the rightful heirs, okay? This is another thing that they don't want to talk about. See, American Negro Indians, we had everything. We had our temples in America that they destroyed, okay? Full of gold, full of pearls, full of rubies. That whole um walking into a room or walking into a pyramid and there are different chambers and it's gold and silver and rubies and crowns. That existed. That comes from our people. We didn't worship it though. We were grateful for it, but we didn't worship it. When the colonizers came of light and dark skin from Europe, foreigners, we gave them wealth. We didn't aren't stingy people. That we were that Southern hospitality that comes from our Indian origins. Okay, our American Indian origins is ancient. We gave them gold, we gave them silver, we gave them rubies, and they're like, are these people crazy? These people are giving us, even in the Caribbean, our people in the Caribbean gave the foreigners pearls, pure gold, silver, rubies, and they're like, do they know the significance of this? They're giving this away. See, we had so much in our temples. We had temples full of pearls, every type of pearl that you can imagine. Temples full of pearls, temples full of gold, silver, every special metal we had in our temples. Our shamans and our priests used authenticity matters. Yes, used to wear pearls, crystals as well. Okay, we knew the benefits of crystals. We knew how to alchemize our energy. Rose quartz is needed. Okay, somebody needs to wear rose quartz. You need to connect with the love that is within rose quartz. You need to be nourishing yourself in the spirit. Okay, keeping the vibration of love flowing to you. Rose quartz. I just talked about it and it came out. Authenticity matters. It's like when a people has everything, they don't know how it feels not to have. But our people now know how it feels not to have. But we've learned. We've learned how things can fall apart when we are operating out of our ego and out of our carnal self and not being spiritually led. We see that leads to destruction, and this could go across people, different races of people as well. But the original beings, the solar beings, we're judged in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Compared to newer people. Okay, the oldest people on the planet, we're older. We're the elders of the planet. We're the originals of the planet. We're judged differently. Our DNA carries a certain level of wisdom and information. We just know certain things are bad. We just know not to do certain things. And when we go against that gut feeling and we go against our genetic code and our DNA, and we give in to those lower frequencies and carnal natures and giving in to the ego, which is the false self, that leads to destruction. We have examples of that as the originals of America. The Atlanteans, those are our family members. Those are our direct blood lineage family members. The Atlanteans with looking just like American Negroes with superhuman abilities. Yes, that was when we had our powers. That was before we fell into a deep sleep, disconnected from our universe, disconnected from Universal Mother, disconnected from the source. The ego was introduced to our Atlantean family members. And guess what? The ego got the best of them. They started to destroy and go to war with each other with superhuman powers and abilities. Atlantis was connected to America, but it sank. Okay. Spirit tribe or soul tribe is coming. Okay. Shout out to the soul family and to the soul tribe. They are on the way, is what I'm hearing in the spirit. They are on the way. Okay. Is what I'm hearing in the spirit. Let me just get this together. All right. And yeah, my head is covered. Absolutely. It says you deserve the best if you choose the best. Choose who loves you is in the spirit is what I'm getting. I'm hearing also that celibacy and or isolation is needed at this time to go within, to hear the universe speaking to you. Ooh. I'm also seeing money is coming in different ways. Money is coming. So if clarity, thank you, Spirit. Clarity card came out in the last reading as well. Abundance. I'm seeing on this particular card, it says money is coming in different ways. And it says abundance. And I drew an interpretation of Corey shells, which is synonymous with the water and with flow, okay, and with abundance, okay, the shells connected to the oceans and to the rivers, okay. So money is coming in. Mayan queen, Queen Mu, definitely. If you haven't heard of Queen Mu, she is a Mayan queen, okay. Her name is Queen Mu. Queen Mu is our was a ancient queen, okay, of Mayan origin, the American Negro Indian bloodline, us and our true lineage and heritage, okay? Not the fake ones. And Queen Mu is actually connected to um, direct bloodline ancestry of Lemuria, okay? So when you hear about the Lemurians and you hear about the mother civilization, and you hear about ooh, stolen inheritance must be returned or they will lose everything, including their lives. All right, that's a clear message right there. That stolen inheritance is going to be recovered, or somebody's going to lose their life and everything that they have in the spirit and in the flesh. But getting back to Queen Mu, she's connected to the ancient Lemurian culture. All right, the original mother culture, where and in the ancient Lemurian culture, this was a god culture. Okay, higher level, evolved women that was able to procreate on their own and also carried the male sex organ within. So they didn't need males. That was before males were being born in this plane of existence. Okay, the males were born once the divine mother civilization was tricked and violated, and she ended up falling from her grace. Okay, from her divinity. Ooh, soon as I said this, this card came out. It says, chosen ones, do not feel bad for karmic's fall or death. Do not respond. That means your enemies are going to fall. I just said fall from grace is what happened. And they were the ancient Lemurians was tricked, okay? And they ended up falling. But the spirit, thank you, spirit. I got to download. The enemy that tricked the ancient Lemurian mothers, the great mothers, okay, that were in the upper realms, the higher dimensions, they were tricked and their bloodline was cursed upon the earth. And their bloodline still exists today. Okay, those are the reptilians. Okay, those are the human reptilian hybrids that are, um, they could appear in different forms, but a lot of the time they appear as of the Caucasian bloodline and or the newer human bloodline, but they have different forms. Okay, they definitely can shapeshift, and they also you know their form, they call their form like um they wear their physical, them wearing so-called human bodies in the physical forms, they call it like body masks or something, because that's not their true form. They're reptilian. Okay, so they're able to trick those that don't have a spiritual eye, but those that do have a spiritual eye, we could see them. We could also sense them, and we could also smell them as well, and or they're hybrids, okay? Because they mixed in with certain groups of people. They are the cursed bloodline. All right, the universe guides you from within. Trust your intuition. Our spiritual eyes never lie. Our spiritual eyes never lie. We have talents and skills and abilities, okay? Being able to spiritually see, okay? So we're not tricked. Healing. We got to go within to heal. Spirit, is there any more messages? I'm hearing collectively ancestral healing. Oh, ancestors are on your enemy's necks, okay? Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, ancestors. Woo. Psalms 11 might be significant. Maybe I'm going to look at that as well. Psalms 11 could be significant. Highly successful individual. You're going to be successful in your pursuits. Just don't give up. Keep trying. Don't give up. That came out earlier in the reading. Angelic protection, Archangel Michael. Thank you to my Archangel Michael. I love you. I love you. I love you. Oshun came out as well in this reading, so that may be of importance. Let me pick up the other one. Let me see. Let me shuffle these cards. I'm also hearing a card had came out basically about somebody tried to sacrifice them from childhood to adulthood. They've been energy harvesting. Take it how it resonates. They obviously were not successful, but you have angelic protection, and your ancestors are on the enemy's neck, so that definitely correlates with that. Let's see. Spirit, is there any more messages that the collective needs to? Okay. Is there any more messages that the collective needs to know, needs to see? Let's see. This one came out. Stalker. Somebody has a stalker. Okay. Stalker on the loose. Somebody could be watching you. Neighbors, maybe on social media. Neighbors, I'm getting if it's in person. It's somebody that could be stalking you, maybe gang stalking you. Okay. Spiritually. Um, a narcissistic network. Oh, these cards. Okay, all of them fell out, so I'm not going to take all of them. Definitely, somebody has a stalker on the loose because I'm hearing they sense your new beginning. They sense your success. All right, Spirit, is there any more? I'm about to wrap this up. Okay, Ogun came out. Ogun, the Orisha, Oshun, and Ogun have made their presence. Thank you for making your presence here. Ogun, ooh, I'm seeing it in spirit. Ogun is a male Orisha that comes for war. Okay, Ogun comes to bring that fire. Ogun comes to bring that destruction to your enemies. Okay, I'm also the ancestors got. I'm correlating this. Okay, I'm correlating this. Okay, give me some time. I'm correlating this. Okay, so the family tried to sacrifice you card came out from childhood to adulthood. Energy harvesting that came out some time ago, but it was to the side, so I didn't see that it came out. And then it says the ancestors are on your enemy's necks, period, with the exclamation mark. And then Ogun comes out, and I'm seeing that your ancestors are destroying your enemies in the spirit and in the flesh on a personal level, on a systemic and government level, is what I'm seeing in the spirit because everything is interconnected. And I'm seeing that Ogun is once the chosen to tap in to that Orisha, okay? Because or Ogun is connected to your bloodline. Okay, so Ogun could be fighting and destroying these enemies, okay, on your behalf as well with your ancestors. All right, is there any more? Spirit told me to go into detail about that. All praise to the Most High. Thank you, Spirit. Um, I've seen that so clearly. So grateful. Let's see. I'm about to wrap this up. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see, Spirit. Is there any more cards? Is there anything else that I need to bring out and say? I know I've covered so much, but I'm obeying. Somebody needs to ground themselves. Okay. Somebody could be not feeling feeling level-headed. Somebody's energies could be scattered around. Could be feeling some anxiety. I'm getting in the sacral chakra area. You need to ground a great crystal to ground. Okay. Ooh, so it said the message came out. Need space, please. Okay. So definitely with grounding, go outside, put your feet in the earth, in the dirt, in the grass, in the sand. Okay. Also, doing yoga could be very useful to ground your energies. Dancing, okay, exercising, grounding your energies, going for a walk, going for a jog is what I'm hearing in the spirit. It says need space, so you might need some space. Might need a break away from certain people and certain energies, okay, in order to ground yourself and get yourself back balanced energetically, so that you are spiritually, mentally, emotionally aligned. Ooh, somebody, it says ex keep calling. Your ex might be calling, or they keep calling. Okay, leave them in the past is what I'm hearing. So that could be directly connected to your sacral chakra. Take it how it resonates. If it's not an ex, somebody that's in, somebody that you've moved on from, says need space, please, and then ex keep calling came out. So you need to leave this person in the past. Okay. Okay. Is there any more messages? Any more messages? I think I'm gonna take one more. One more. One more. 777. I just seen the need space. Ooh. Okay, I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take this one. Low frequency run. Okay, so somebody is of a low frequency and you do not need to let this person into your bed, into your space, or definitely into your body, your sacral chakra. All right. Somebody is of a very low, it says take out the trash. Okay, so you don't need to go back to this person. I'm going to take one more. I've been saying that over and over, but spirit is from rags to riches. Okay, is the last one. Okay, and then this one came out as well. So from rags to riches, millionaire status. So you're destined to be very wealthy. I'm hearing in the spirit, if you just believe in yourself and you keep pushing, you don't give up, the money is coming. It may not, you building your business, your empire, etc. It may not happen overnight, but it will bring you longevity and generational wealth. I'm also getting it says, okay, he does not love you. Lies. Okay, so take it how it resonates. He or she does not love you. Somebody that could be trying to get into your space, your bed, your sacral chakra does not love you. If it has not happened, it could happen in the future. Okay, these messages are timeless, but you'll know exactly when to apply this to your life and to you. Okay, these karmics out here is acting up, y'all. They're acting up. Ooh, I'm also getting something in the spirit with this. Dang, I didn't even know this card came out. It's correlating with stalker on the loose. Okay, so it says Black femicide or Indigenous American Indian woman femicide. Um, it came out. So this could mean that somebody needs to be on high alert, because immediately when it came out, I thought about the stalker. So you need to be very cautious on who you are letting around you at this time. Take it how it resonates. It's just an energy. Um, the energy could be pertaining to somebody that's around you that just really wants to take you out, that's jealous of you. It could be a friend, a karmic friend, somebody that's around you that you think, you know what I'm saying, is not a threat, but they are a threat. Okay, and it says, oh, this is so beautiful. The last two that fell out is basically no going back, F them, and it says spiritually evolving. So this is definitely, I'm getting a karmic lover, okay, or relationship for someone out there. And it says, greetings, chosen ones. This is a timeless message to bring awareness to the collective of spiritual beings and souls. I definitely hope that the collective is benefiting off of these messages that I am bringing directly from the universe, and from my spiritual team. I'm okay. Gaslighting. Somebody is gaslighting somebody. Keep a positive mindset. Thank you so much. I'm a highly successful individual. All right. I will be here all day. Keep your mind clear, keep clarity, and you will be fine. Okay. These messages are meant to warn you, to enlighten you, to help you on a spiritual, mental, emotional, and soul level. And I'm so grateful for you being here and listening. I definitely send you peace and love to the collective of empaths and chosen ones. And I definitely am rocking with you like you're rocking with me. Definitely like, share, and comment. If you have liked and you've stayed to this reading, you are a real one. And I send you absolute love. Peace until we meet again. Namaste.